When you look back at what each of you had said, was there a moment where you said to each other, I never knew you felt like that? I never knew
completely.
In what?
For me, I mean, me and Dunk were the sort of founding members of Blue, and we've known each other for so many years, and there were secrets that Dunk had. I don't want to sort of pin Dunk out, but it was secrets that Dunk had that I never knew about, and to find out what he really thought of myself and my insecurities, and I wish we'd spoken all together. It was a lovely therapy session to actually sit there and actually read what the boys were saying, because you think, I didn't know that. But as a band, we were so tight and so knit, and we still are, that no one could get near us.
Other secrets that you found out about him in the book?
Yeah.
So what didn't you know about him?
The insecurities that Dunk was having and the anxieties, because for me, he was just Dunk, the bloke I met when I was like 16, 17 years old, and we never sat down and spoke, but...
What about you, Simon?
For me, just actually reading exactly what Anthony was saying, it felt to me that everyone was feeling the same things about the same issues, but didn't want to step on each other's toes, because when you're together for so long, you just want to enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
So those sad times, the good times outweigh the bad for us at the time. But in the book, we're allowed to be able to express everything that we were feeling.
Well, you seem to, for you, Simon, you seem to really suffer in silence a bit with what you were going through.
Yeah, I mean, I had my own problems, but then, you know, there's a part when Duncan came to me about certain things that he was going through, and Anthony and Lee as well. So for me, I just didn't feel that I had the right to turn around and say, well, I've got a problem too, because, you know, boys don't do that.
Yeah.
Boys don't go...
Do you wish you had? Do you wish you'd done that earlier?
No, I don't have any regrets. Personally, I don't have any regrets. It's just really nice to find out in the book exactly that. But nothing's changed dynamically.
No.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
But it's like, again, coming back to when we first got together, me and Si were roommates. Me and him were the last to meet. You know, it was down to, I hate saying it, but it was down to me whether Simon was going to be in a band or not, because just to see if it fitted. And we got on like a house on fire. We became roommates, and we spent so much time together, living in each other's pockets, that there was things that, again, he was going through that he never could turn around to me and say, I'm going through that, brother, and I could turn around to him and give him all my problems. But I didn't know what he was going through.
What about you, Lou?
I hated doing this book.
Did you?
Did you? Why?
Why? Because it was horrible. I burst out crying halfway through doing it, digging up old dust and talking about rehab and loads of different things, and it's just not... I just didn't find it a very pleasurable experience.
Are you the sort of guy that keeps himself to himself, or...?
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite... you know, you've got to drag me out to get me out these days. I'm quite happy with staying in and seeing my kids, you know. But, you know, the lifestyle that we led, the younger days, I mean, half of it I can't even remember.
Really?
So, you know, sometimes I read stuff in it and I'm going, did that really happen? You know, but it was a good time for him back there.
Yeah.
Lee, that used to be there, he remembered all it. I don't remember too much, to be fair.
And one of the other things that you've talked about in here, which I don't know that you've had free rein to talk about before, and that's the bankruptcy. And you've been able to be quite honest about that. This is what happened. This is what happened.
To some degree.
Yeah. And so, what have you been able to say?
Well, if you just want to brush over it, it's basically... when people hear the word bankruptcy, they have an idea that you have no money. But with us, it was a certain situation where we were forced, or where we chose to go down that route just for business purposes at the end of the day, because we're still here.
So it happened because you had the album, you self-funded the album altogether, so you all put the money in, and then you had managers at the time, and then they...
We the album roulette and we lost.
Right, OK.
Gamble.
And yes, well, I mean, very, very much so.
Yeah.
There was a lot of press about the time when we were going bankrupt, and everyone was like, oh, you've just, you know, wasted your money and you haven't invested it wisely, and that wasn't the case. We actually were... we were sued by management who tried to basically screw us over big time. And in that situation, when you're faced with that, as a company, we liquidated the company, as we've written in the book. But then he went after each one of us, because we were directors of the company individually, for a lot of money. And in that case, you're kind of like, what do you do? Yeah. It's like, you know, no.
How long does it... Because, I mean, I know you've lost your houses, you know, but how long does it take to get yourself back up onto the
We've just come out of it now as a group. It's 3 years. So 2014, I remember getting a call from our manager, Paul, that I personally was going to go bankrupt. And we was on tour with Ant and Dec on the Saturday Night Takeaway tour, and everything was happy and all go lucky, and then I got the call, you're going bankrupt, in September of 2014, and, you know, we just had a baby, and it just spiralled from there, and I thought, you know what, I've got the boys, I've got my family, I've got good friends around me, got our health.
Yeah.
That's more important
I think
than
that's
anything.
the thing about
and
us
we got through it,
as a
didn't we?
band as well. We've stuck by each other, and not many bands have. I think we're not many founding members of a band left.
No,
I mean, 5 or 3.
It's true.
But, you know, we're still together, and we've come through this together. Not one of us has turned round and said,
As
you know
friends
what,
as
forget
well.
it. Yeah, you know, I'm going to cut out of this now. We've said, no, we'll get through this together.
There was
and we'll
talk
get
of that,
through.
though, in the early days, when you went to a tarot reader, didn't you? And the tarot reader said, I think you should, you know, you've got the tower, and the tower says, you know, big
Yeah,
changes.
I go to a lot of mediums and stuff. I'm always asking them what's going to happen with my life next. They say a lot of stuff. You know, if I believed all of it...
We hear a lot of stuff as well. It's like, what are you doing this week, Lee?
That's what I mean. When they told me about that, I was like, did that really happen? Maybe it did, I don't know.
And next year you're going on tour again, so this is all happening and all back together.
New album, new tour. I mean, the thing is, again, what makes which is clear in the book is that Blue have always been together. We've never split, and we're always working. You know, we're always working individually, but we always look forward to getting back together.
Yeah.